This video is to tell everyone about a new initiative we're launching in the beginning of 2021. It is one in which we will provide intentional programming centering on what we consider a timely issue for the community. We will select a picture book, a middle grade book, and an adult novel that focuses on the theme. And book discussions or story times will take place for each one. We will also offer additional program on each year's topic. Our goal is to offer this program at the beginning of every new calendar year in our first cycle of programming, which would be January to April. And what we hope to do is provide our communities with forums to learn about, think about, and discuss challenging contemporary issues. This year's topic is race, and we have selected 3 books that we think are important and timely and address those issues at the various age levels we talked about very well. So the initiative is called 1, 2, 3 Race, where we will talk about one topic with our 2 communities, Clinton and Macomb townships, within 3 books. And with that, I think, I guess we should introduce ourselves. My name is Amy from the Adult Services Department. We also have Lisa from the Youth Services Department, and we have Celia, who is our Acquisitions Manager. And with that, I think we can start talking about some of the books.
Absolutely. I am really excited about the children's title. It is a picture book. This title would be great for preschoolers, even through elementary students. I think it would be a great classroom read aloud. The title is Sulwe. It's by Lupita Nyong'o and illustrated by Vashti Harrison. Now, just some things to know about the author and illustrator. Lupita Nyong'o is actually an Academy Award-winning actress, producer, and writer. And Vashti Harrison won a Coretta Scott King Illustrator Award for her artwork in Sulwe. Once you open it up and look at it, it is absolutely gorgeous. I love the stars and the magic, and it makes the people just jump right off the page.
The entire book is stunning. I remember when I looked at it, it was just, it's breathtakingly beautiful.
It also won an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Children's Literary Work. Sulwe is the story of a young girl, and she has darker skin than the rest of her family. So she goes through the book, and it's a book to talk about self-esteem, looking different and finding yourself. There's just so many applications to it, but it's a great book where you can just read and enjoy it too. But there are places where you can spark discussion off of it. We have a whole bunch of copies that are available to be put on hold. I think it's like 50. So please put them on hold, stop by the library when we're open and pick one up. Or if you're not able to read this aloud, we are going to do a Facebook read aloud on Monday, March 1st at I think 11 a.m. But check our newsletter and the information will be in there. The newsletter should be arriving at the end of the month in December.
And that read aloud will be on Facebook Live, is that correct, Lisa?
It's actually going to be Facebook video, so then it can also be on our YouTube.
Great.
To provide more ways to access the video.
Excellent.
Great.
Great. What's our chapter book, Amy?
So our middle grade reader, there was a lot of discussion because there's lots of great titles that fit with this age range on this topic. And we will have, if you like this, read more book lists for everybody on all 3 age levels. But the one we ultimately selected is called Ghost Boys by Jewell Parker Rhodes. This book is, it's challenging, but in ways that are very, very important. The main character, we meet him as a ghost, and he is a young boy from Chicago of African-American descent, and he has been killed by a police officer. And the story is told from his point of view, and he meets lots of other ghost boys along the way, including Trayvon Martin and Emmett Till. And it's done in a very accessible way for this age group. I would be comfortable putting it in the hands of 4th or 5th grade and up. But I think if you're putting it in the hands of some of those younger children, that you want to read along with them and have those discussions that can be challenging but are very important nonetheless. The book follows the main character through what happened to him, through the trial. It does flashbacks to how he ended up in the position he was in, to be shot by a police officer. And as he is a ghost, there is only one other person who can see and speak to him for some reason, and that is the daughter of the police officer that shot him, that happened to be his same age. There's a lot to unpack in this book. I don't want to pretend that it's a light, fun read that we want to throw in children's hands, but it's a powerful book, it's a timely book, and it will spark great discussions in your households.
I always love Jewell Parker Rhodes' writing. If I'm
I do too.
If I'm looking for a book list or for Battle of the Books, she's one of our go-to authors.
She's fabulous, and she writes for children about very important, very timely issues in ways that children can understand and begin to access, which is so important.
It really is.
This book also was a great favorite of all of the adult librarians who were evaluating the book. So it definitely has a crossover appeal all the way up to adults.
I read it in one sitting. Like, I read it for the purpose of evaluating it for the 1, 2, 3 race program, but I would have loved this book if I had just randomly picked it up off a library shelf as well.
All right, and our adult pick is The Vanishing Half by Bennett. If you've been around books at all in 2020, you may have heard of this one. When it came out, it was a Good Morning America book club pick, #1 New York Times bestseller, recently won the 2020 Goodreads Award for Historical Fiction. It's on the New York Times Book Review's top 10 best books. It's Time Magazine's #1 book of the year. It's all over the place. It is the second book by Brit Bennett. Her first book is The Mothers, which was also a best-selling, fantastic book. But
Brit Bennett's here to stay.
Yes, indeed, yep. But The Vanishing Half tells the story of twin sisters who leave their small southern Black community when they are 16, and from there they go their separate ways and end up leading very different lives as adults. The one sister returns to that small town where she lives with her daughter, and the other sister ends up passing as white, and her white husband, does not know anything about her past or that she has an identical twin sister with darker skin than her. And this book follows not only their lives and this discussion of race and the idea of passing and colorism in the US, but it also goes on to the next generation when the children of these twin sisters reconnect and how they deal with their family's history and their mother's choices. One of our librarians, who was multiple librarians have been absolutely raving about this book when they read it, but one of them said that Brit Bennett takes a provocative topic, race and passing, makes it feel plausible and realistic, creates complex and sympathetic characters. I found myself wanting to highlight tons of passages. So I think this book is again, it's not an easy read, but it is an important book. And I think that Brit Bennett does a lot to draw her readers in and make it accessible for a wide variety of readers, which is how it's ended up on all these lists and really delighted people. And we're excited to give you an opportunity to not only read it if you haven't, but also discuss it with us and discuss it with some fellow community members and look at what it means for you, what it means for us, and what it means for our communities.
So we're also we're programming on the topic beyond the books for the first newsletter cycle as well. So when your newsletter does hit your mailbox at the end of this month, there will be a section devoted to 1, 2, 3 race programming. And then there are additional programs sprinkled throughout that will have 1, 2, 3 next to them, so that you also know they fit within within this theme and the topic we're trying to promote discussion about. So some of the adult programs I just want to mention real quickly. We have an author discussion with Jeni McFarland on January 16th. On January 31st is a fun one. We're going to do a Facebook Live from the Gratitude Steel Drum Band. In February, we have a presentation on African American art from the DIA. All of this will be virtual, so it's easily attendable by everyone. We will have a Vanishing Half book discussion in March, and I'm giving away a secret by saying it's also the book discussion for our January Books on Tap group, if you're interested in joining that. And then on April 19th, we have a lecture from a professor at Oakland University. Oh, I should have wrote her name down. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but she's going to do a lecture on the history of hip hop and race, which should be very interesting.
From the children's and parenting perspective, I'm really excited about our March 10th program. It takes place at 6 p.m., so right after the workday, but before kids' bedtimes. It's our Discussing Race with Children. And the speaker is Janet Damon, who is the blogger at mixmama.com. She's also an experienced educator and librarian along with that. And one that didn't make the list but is in our newsletter is on February 27th at 2 p.m. We're going to have Diane Macklin, who's a storyteller, who will she's going to do a lot of American folk tales with African roots to pull some of that through.
Fabulous.
Yeah. And then the Sulwe Read Aloud on March 1st will be on Facebook video. We're hoping to transfer that to YouTube also. But that way, if you are unable to come in and pick up the picture book, you'll have another way to access it.
And well, a lot of these are programs that are also accessible by our middle grade readers. There will be a specific Ghost Boys book discussion on March 29th, led by our teen librarians.
This all looks super fun. So
yeah, it should be good. I am too. I'm excited to sort of broach a challenging topic with our community and see where it takes us.
Great. So look for your newsletters at the end of December and watch our social media for announcements for programs. Stop by the library when we're open again to pick up a copy of the book or place one on hold to pick it up via curbside. And we look forward to discussing these books with you this winter and spring. Absolutely. And remember, we have a lot of copies of all of these books, so you should be able to get your hands on one pretty easily. Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.